Hey everyone, it's Jared here, and welcome to another physical media update video. I know I haven't posted videos on here that much recently. It's largely because I've been trying to think of ideas of what to do next for this course that I'm doing. If you saw my previous video, I mentioned that video was made for that course. I interviewed Neil Brand. Um, yeah, some of you may have seen that video. I think that interview went quite well, and I hope you guys enjoyed the interview as well if you saw it. Now I'm going to be showing some stuff that I've picked up recently, and let's crack on with it. So first off, I'll show this box set. It's Keystone Comedy, and it's particularly some of it is focusing on Fatty Arbuckle and Mabel Normand. Yes, so Fatty Arbuckle, I knew I'd seen some clips from some of his films and they look quite funny. I had seen the video about him by the YouTube channel Hats Off Entertainment, which I'm a big fan of. Um, I was intrigued to check out some of his films, and this does have his films on there. It also has some starring Mabel Normand. Well, the two of them did star in some silent comedies together, but it does have some like solo Mabel Normand stuff, and it also has other Keystone comedies. And I mean, I mainly bought it for the Fatty Arbuckle stuff, but I have to admit there are other gems in there. So I think it's a good strategy putting other Keystone stuff on here because people get to check out stuff that maybe they might not have seen otherwise. And one thing though that I should mention is that for some reason on the third disc it doesn't have any music playing. Because it is all silent comedy. The first two discs do have like piano music playing, but this one for some reason doesn't. So instead, I had to play some music myself while I was watching them because I tried, but it's kind of difficult. At least I find it quite difficult to watch silent films without there being music playing. So I did decide to play some music and that will fit and go along with it here. But I do enjoy. I do think he has good physical comedy. He's a good comedic presence, and I enjoyed some of the other stuff in this box set that doesn't have him in them. And as I did mention, if you saw my video on the last Talking Pictures event that I went to, part of that, Andre Vincent did a presentation about the history of slapstick comedy, and in that presentation he talked about Fatty Arbuckle or Roscoe Arbuckle, which I was very happy about because I bought that box set quite recently. Next, I'll show this film I got, Cool Runnings. Now, I know this is a popular film. I haven't seen it yet, but I do like. I do really like John Candy. I do like his performance in pretty much everything that I've seen him in, and hopefully this will be good. It is a Disney film. Um, yeah, I unfortunately haven't seen it yet, but I know there are a lot of people who do like that. So I'll have to check that out sometime. Next, I got the original version of The Plank from Eric Sykes, directed by him and starring him, and also Tommy Cooper and a lot of other British comedy talent. I do really like these short films that Eric Sykes made. This is the original version of The Plank. I know this is from, I think, 1967, and I know he did remake it in 1979, I believe. Um, I haven't seen that version, but I know Rhubarb was another short film that he remade. I think I have seen both versions of Rhubarb. But this would probably have to be my favorite of those uh, short films that he made. It's almost kind of silent comedy. Um, I think there is some sound and maybe some dialogue, but it is largely kind of silent. It's great slapstick comedy in this. And the cast, as I mentioned, it stars Eric Sykes and Tommy Cooper, but then the rest of the cast is great. You have Jimmy Edwards, a guy with a big mustache, um, Roy Castle, Graham Stark, Stratford Johns. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know if I know him from anything else, but I don't recognize his name. Uh, Yeah, Jim Dale, Hattie Jakes, Jimmy Tarbuck. Yes, yeah, great cast. And it is just a great short film. It's hilarious. You need to check it out if you haven't. If you love slapstick comedy and yeah, stuff like this. Yeah, would highly recommend. Next, I got two films that are released from. They're part of the same label. Like it says classic collectible, um, classic collection on them, and they're both um, film versions of British sitcoms from the 70s. So I got the Bless This House film, and I also got the Porridge film. Now, yeah, I do like both of these films. Um, one thing I should mention though, when I posted this in a Facebook group about physical media, somebody did comment saying that the unfortunate thing is with this release, they did crop the image to like the 4:3 aspect ratio, like the old TV ratio, I guess to match with the TV show. And they said that if you want like the version that's in the proper aspect ratio, you should get the Blu-ray that's released by Network. Yeah, and I did quite recently do a video of my Network collection. I showed that I mostly have DVD releases from them, but yeah, they have also done a lot of Blu-ray releases of these sorts of film versions of British sitcoms. Yeah, I did watch this DVD and I did enjoy the film, but I can confirm that it is in that TV aspect ratio. And it didn't take away that much from my enjoyment of the film, but there were some moments where I could tell that the image had been cropped. So yeah, maybe I'll have to look out for that Network Blu-ray release. But yeah, I do quite like this film. I enjoy it as both kind of um, an extension of the TV show and also as being sort of an unofficial carry-on film because it is directed by Gerald Thomas, who directed all 31 carry-on films, would you believe? And of course, some of the cast members returning from the TV show, of course, Sid James and Patsy Rowlands, who of course were carry-on regulars. You also have Sally Geeson playing the daughter, who was in Carry On Abroad and Carry On Girls. And you also have some characters who are recast from the TV show, and the new actors that they got are actors who've been in Carry On movies. The neighbor Trevor, he's a character from the TV show, but he's not played by the same actor as the show. In this movie, he's played by Peter Butterworth, who of course was a Carry On regular, and I'd say he has to be one of my favorite Carry On stars, along with Sid James. And the son Mike, it's Sid's son Mike. In this movie, he's played by Robin Asquith, which is kind of funny because Robin Asquith was in one episode of the show, but he played one of Mike's friends. So it's kind of funny that he played Mike's friend, but then played Mike himself in the film version. Yeah. Yeah, Robin Asquith, he's probably best known for his starring role in the infamous Confessions films, but he was also in Carry On Girls as well. And as for some of the new characters, the new neighbors that move in this movie, the husband and wife are played by Terry Scott and June Whitfield, who were in a lot of Carry On movies. And their daughter is played by Carol Hawkins, who was in Carry On Abroad. And that's just more the main cast. I mean, like some of the character parts in this movie are also played by actors who were in Carry On movies. So yeah, I do quite like that film. And as for the Porridge movie, this movie is great. I mean, this is often considered to be one of the best, if not the best, of that era of British sitcom movies. And yeah, I would have to agree. This was really at like the end of that era. I mean, I mostly associate that sort of era of British sitcom movies with the 70s. It was very popular in the 70s to in Britain to make these movies based on sitcoms. Um, I mean, really, the last ones were the George and Mildred movie in the last ones of that era, at least, were the George and Mildred movie and the Rising Damp movie, which both came out in 1980. So it's like with the beginning of the 80s, it came the end of that sort of era of British sitcom movies. Yeah. But this one was in 1979, so also right at the end of the 70s. And it's great. I mean, the sad thing is, I think Richard Beckinsale, he either passed away before it came out or he passed away right after it came out. This was probably like the last thing that he worked on, which is sad. And yeah, the year after this, they did do the Rising Damp movie, which he was on. He was on the show, but he wasn't in the movie. I think likely because he passed away, or maybe he was unwell during the time when they filmed it. Um, but yeah, this would have to be one of my favorites. Yeah, and yeah, and there have been other ones since. There have been other British sitcom movies since the 70s, of course. I mean, um, I think maybe they had a bit of a comeback with like the first Mr. Bean movie, and then they really had a comeback with after the Inbetweeners movie. And to be honest, a lot of the ones after the Inbetweeners movie are pretty terrible. And even some of the ones from the 70s, I don't think are like the best movies. I think they kind of work better as TV shows. But I will say these two in particular, I do like. The next thing I'll show is this box set of Seinfeld. Now, what's kind of interesting about this is that it's volume 2, but it's season 3. So yeah, I believe what they did with these box set releases of Seinfeld was that so like the first volume was the first 2 seasons together. So then yeah, volume 2 is the third season. But it's kind of confusing. Like the volume is different from the season. But yeah, but it is a very funny show. And one thing I will say as to why physical media is still important, they do have all of the Seinfeld seasons on Netflix. But one thing is, on Netflix, they don't have it in the right aspect ratio. They put it in full screen when it's supposed to be like the 4:3 with like the bars at the side. And on DVD, it's in the correct aspect ratio. So that's a good reason to have it on DVD as well. I mean, The Simpsons had a similar thing with aspect ratio thing, like they had it full screen when it's supposed to have the bars at the side. But at least with The Simpsons, like on Disney Plus, they gave you the option to like change to the original aspect ratio. Whereas with the Seinfeld one, if you watch it on Netflix, it's just you can only watch it in the full screen. So if you want to see the proper aspect ratio, get the DVDs. And now I'll get on to the Blu-rays. And first, I've only got 2 Blu-rays, to show here. Well, one of them has 3 movies in it. But the first one I'll show is a Criterion release of the film Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. This is a pretty funny movie where he pretends to be a woman and to get an acting role in this soap opera, and he does actually play it quite well. Dustin Hoffman playing as a woman, he does it really well actually. And yeah, and I do like how he comes up with the name, because his character in the movie is called Michael Dorsey. So the name for like his female persona is Dorothy Michaels. So it's like he swapped his name around. So yeah, I did enjoy this movie. Yeah, it was good to get this for the collection. We'll have to check out some of the special features because Criterion always have a lot of great special features on their releases. I've just seen the film. I haven't seen the special features on it yet. But yeah, I look forward to checking that out. Yeah, I'm glad to have this in the collection. And now, last but not least, is a Blu-ray set that I have of 3 films, and I haven't watched them on Blu-ray yet, but I have seen all 3 of these films before. And that is the Cornetto trilogy. Yes, and apparently, like more recently, there's been talks of like apparently Edgar Wright has been talking with like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost about possibly doing like a 4th Cornetto film. I mean, I don't know if they really should do that. I mean, to me, it sounds like maybe Edgar Wright's desperate because his recent Running Man movie didn't do that well, so he's returning to like the franchise that made him famous in the first place. And like conceptually, I don't really like the idea of a 4th one because it's like the whole idea of the 3 flavors. The whole idea of the 3 flavors Cornetto trilogy, the name of it is meant to be a parody of the 3 colors trilogy. So like I don't know if you could really do a 4th one, but yeah. And I just think a trilogy is having 3 is just a nice number though. But these 3 films I do really like. I do like The World's End as well, but I'd say mainly the first two are more the first two are more my favorites out of this trilogy, and they're more my go-to films. But I do like all three of them, so yeah, I will look forward to watching them again. And something else that I bought quite recently that I'd like to show, which is physical media related, and I think it's pretty cool, is this Now Playing Blu-ray stand. Yeah, this is for when I'm watching a movie. I can put the Blu-ray on this stand, and you'll see Now Playing. It's like, you know, a cinema saying Now Playing this. I think it's pretty cool. I had seen other people online have these sorts of things, so I wanted to buy one for myself. Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think? I think it's really cool. And something else that I'd like to show is I didn't buy this, but I saw it in a used DVD shop, and I thought it was pretty amusing. It's because it's just the most random collection of movies I think I've probably ever seen. So yeah, I thought I should show it in this video. And yeah, by the way, for those wondering, the film that's covered by the sticker is Educating Rita. Hope you all enjoyed this update video. Um, yeah, tell me in the comments, have you seen any of the stuff that I showed here? Are you a fan of any of them? Or are you interested in checking some of the stuff out? Yeah, it'd always be nice to hear from you. And yeah, look out for whenever my next video will be. Again, I don't know when it will be, because I said again, because I'm focusing a lot of my time on the course that I'm doing. But yeah, stay tuned for whenever I'm back. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. Bye.